Hi, this is the first time I'm going to try this. I'm going to react to a an unsold TV pilot with Soleil Moon Frye and Jaleel White. It's called Cadets. It's an unsold TV pilot, um, ABC from 1988. So I hope I'm going to be safe in doing this, and YouTube won't take me down. I'm going to try to save this, but save this to my hard drive. But I thought this would be a fun opportunity to um, show you how a story is put together. I'm going to use my training in my college training in how to structure the story. So let's get going here. I'm going to great. Okay, so remember, this is my first time trying this. I'm going to move this back to the beginning. Now, I haven't seen this before, but I do need to stop this at least about every 15 seconds so YouTube won't get on my case. And I'll just give you my reaction. I haven't seen it before. I'll just, I'll think in terms of a screenwriter. All right, let's get going. Great opening theme song, by the way. Soleil Moon Frye, remember from Punky Brewster? Notice here they're showing the concept right away. Nice theme song. They're showing the theme song with this opening theme song. They're giving you a quick idea of what the premise is. Evidently, these are cadets in a military school. I'm just going to pause here. I'm going to get in the habit of talking. Richard Roundtree, he played he played in he's a famous actor already. So we've got a good cast. We've got Soleil Moon Frye from Punky Brewster. We've got Jaleel White from Family Matters. This would have been before Family Matters. We've got Richard Roundtree, who's a famous actor. I'm trying to think of the song Shaft. He played the original Shaft. And we've got a rousing theme song. Back then, the theme songs were longer, of course, because they had to show the opening credits. All right. Oh, it also shows you where it's set, Appomattox Military Academy. So I'm already presuming that before this was created, they created the person who came up with this idea would have written a series Bible, or also known as a writer's guide. It would have started off with the premise, the title, the fact it's probably a half an hour show, isn't it? Yeah, half an hour show format, and I'm thinking it's probably a comedy along the lines of like Police Academy. So that would have been introduced in the series Bible, probably page 1. There would have been a showrunner assigned to basically spearhead, take charge of producing the episode, producing a pilot. Now, those of you who may not know, a TV pilot is a test. It's not necessarily the first episode or how things began in the series. All it has to do is be a typical episode that introduces characters, that gives a test audience a sense of what they would expect from each episode of the series. All right. And it's also a good opportunity for the production crew to work out the kinks, cast the right parts, figure out the sets, construct the sets, and so forth. All right. You can see the American flag there, along with what I presume is the flag of the Academy. The, again, rousing theme song.
Order!
it's nice that already we see one of the stars, Soleil Moon Frye. I presume that's her on the right there. Since she's, from what little I've read, she starts with, an all boys academy, and she's a girl, obviously. So right there, you've got conflict. You have to have conflict. I know some of these things will be obvious, but I just wanted to be thorough. Um, I'm expecting in this episode you're going to see like gender conflict where she's the only girl in a largely a boys or all boys academy, and they would need to explain that.
That concludes retreat.
Oh, I should also say you've got to introduce very soon the fact that it is a comedy. You want to make it clear. You don't want to confuse the audience, particularly at this time, in this era. You don't want to confuse a test audience trying to figure out, is this a drama? Is this a comedy? Now there's more leeway, like with streaming services. But here we go.
Concludes retreat means knock it off.
And of course, we've got the laugh track to further back up my point. You've got to demonstrate this is a comedy.
It is never to touch the ground. I'm speaking to you. That bring up.
Never to touch the ground.
Oh, and again, I haven't seen the rest of this episode, but you're already establishing. I imagine that's Richard Roundtree, but you're already establishing his character, how he relates to the other characters in the writer's guide for this show. I presume that they would have, first of all, explained that it takes place in Appomattox. They would have had external shots filmed, and Richard Roundtree's character would have been established. Certain quirks about. You don't have to go describe his entire history and so forth, but just have to describe how he relates to the other characters and what his purpose, his role in the show is. Not just the head of a military school, but or a drill instructor, whoever he is in here. Not just his function that way, but also emotionally and as a character. What part does he play in how stories are told?
Sir!
It is falling from corner to corner. It's never to be falling from underneath.
There's Jaleel White.
I'm speaking to you, Brigham.
It is folded from corner to corner. It is never to be folded from underneath. Sir!
It's a flag, not a rag.
It's a flag, not a rag. It's a drag.
Squad leader, return to ranks. 8.
Again, like I was saying before, it looks like Soleil Moon Frye is the only girl at the school, which automatically creates conflict.
J.
And where you have conflict, you have source for comedy.
You've all been here 8 days, and I must inform you that you are the most incompetent and inadequate plebe squad I've ever had the dissatisfaction of instructing. Basically, you're all garbage. I'm speaking to you.
We're garbage, sir!
And when you're garbage, you need to be trashed. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, sir!
Company dismissed. Not you, Nichols, McKay, or Ted Hunt.
Yes, I like this. I like the fact that I presume these are the two stars, aside from Richard Roundtree. I presume these are the two stars because, of course, they're played by famous actors that we know now, Soleil Moon Frye and Jaleel White. So this is going to spend some time introducing their characters. We've already established Richard Roundtree as a hard-nosed instructor.
You talked during retreat. You chittered and chatted like diaper-wetting kindergarten babies while we were lowering the greatest symbol of our nation. You have no respect for the American flag, and I have no respect for you. Cadet.
Also, thematically, I wanted to say this before, but it's interesting that they started off with the flag being folded up, and they spent a lot of effort, a lot of time devoted to folding the flag properly, showing respect. I wonder if that's going to be a theme in this episode. I know they've done this with Barney Miller and some other shows I've noticed. You have several things you need to establish at the very beginning, especially with Barney Miller. They do that very well. You establish the plots. Typically, there are two plot. I don't know. I haven't seen this before, but typically there are two plot threads or two separate plots going on simultaneously. And then there's an emotional plot, like something that's more personal to one of the characters. And there's a theme that is shared so that the two objective story plots share the same theme. They may have each have a different problem to overcome, but they share the same theme, and so does the personal plot.
Earns my respect or my disrespect only from what a cadet does. You can chat until you're blue. God, respect from what you do. I speak to you.
You can chit and chat until you're blue, but earn respect from what you do, sir.
I'm speaking to you again.
You can chit and chat until you're blue, but earn respect from what you do, sir.
So notice this is really the writer expressing a point of view. It's not necessarily the only point of view for this episode, but it starts off with, I think he was saying something about respect for what you do. Let's see if that changes over the course of the episode. That ties in with the theme of respect and the flag.
Punishment. 10 hours of study hall each.
But he didn't do anything.
Who are you, his lawyer?
I did all the talking, sir. He didn't do anything, sir.
Oh, yes, he did. He listened.
But it's not fair.
Not fair. Not fair. Cadet McKay, I apologize.
So you got a conflict already. You've got one person. You've got Soleil Moon Frye's point of view, and you've got Richard Roundtree's point of view, and they both have. It's not like one is wrong and the other's right. They each have their own point of view, which they can justify.
Forgot that your uncle is the commandant of this academy. But you don't forget that you get no privileges and no special treatment of any kind. And don't you forget that I tell you what is fair. Fair is 10 additional hours in study hall. Yeah.
And you also notice that established a very key point about Soleil Moon Frye's character's background. Her uncle has a high position at the academy. So that's also probably going to be a source of conflict. That's also probably how she was able to get in.
Missed.
Or why she was put in. Incidentally, up here, while that's going on, up here, Channel 99.
I can handle 20 hours in study hall. I mean, I could become a book person. Did you ever hear McSpadden? Well, he disobeyed Gideon and got holes drilled in his 2 front teeth. Without Novocaine.
That's slight. I mean, that's put for comedic effect, but Jaleel White's character is also expressing the danger. You want to present at the beginning of the story. You want to present the conflict, and you want to present the danger. whatever's at risk. He pointed out something about the teeth.
Oh, come on. Well, you know the path on the way to the gym? Well, right past the statue of Stonewall Jackson, there's a little hill. McSpadden. Believe it because it's true. So tomorrow retreat? What? Stand next to somebody else.
So what Jalil's character, what this character is doing is presenting the writer's argument. What could happen if she doesn't do as told, or if she she doesn't follow a certain path. This is what may happen.
Squally Brood here!
Wow, super cadet.
I have the tickets you want, and you have the money I want.
Please, gentlemen. One gentleman at a time. Yeah, not everybody at once, okay?
I was never particularly a Michael Jackson fan, but to get out of this place, I'd actually go to an opera. I mean, name one other human being that walks like this.
That's pretty good, by the way.
$10, please. You're looking exceedingly lovely.
Do you really think so?
Yeah, you've done something with your... something.
Thanks.
Oh, I stand corrected. Okay. So that's really startling, because the point would be to have her stand out as an oddball. Like each one, I'm thinking back to like Police Academy, and there's a show called The Last Precinct, which I do want to talk about because that had everything going for it, and yet it didn't last beyond like 6 episodes or 10 episodes, or not even 10 episodes. It was created by Stephen J. Cannell, who I think he worked on Riptide. I think he also worked on the A-Team. I mean, real good talent. And what went wrong with that show? So if this works well, I want to comment on The Last Precinct. But anyway, you're probably familiar with Police Academy and other shows, other movies, and other setups. You want to have each character be distinct. So I'm surprised that they would have another female character there. If previously we all saw guys and then she was the one girl. So anyway.
I mean it.
$11, please.
Hey,
Oh, another thing I should mention. When you're designing a TV show, you want the premise, you want to stick to the premise. Like, for example, in this show, it's clearly about a military school for kids, probably learning discipline, learning respect, different things that you would learn if you're going through a military academy. And those would be the themes. You'd have like one theme per episode, of course, and then that theme would be expressed in several different plot lines. I don't know the structure of this, but that's typically how a show would be. And you'd want to have each character distinct in terms of that character's point of view on the theme of the show overall. Like, for example, Star Trek, you'd have outer space. So you'd have different crew members' traits being distinctive in terms of exploration. What do they contribute to each? What's their unique voice? That's it. What's their unique voice to each theme in each episode?
you only charged her 10.
Special discount for ladies.
10 for Michael Jackson and 1 for the snake.
Squad leader Brigham sounds a bit more proper, don't you think?
You know, you act very arrogant, but has anybody ever told you that you're extremely attractive?
Frequently.
They lied.
I thought that you said that you'd make sure she wasn't going.
Gherkin, my boy.
That's a very good visually. That's a really good setup. Notice that they have the Is that a female character in the background there? The two girls are talking to each other, but notice they're in the center of the shot, and you have these two guys, these two characters, on opposite ends of the opposite sides of the screen, and they're probably going to be in conflict. They're going to be in some minor argument. So notice they're set up like each has his own side, and you have the two girls in the center of the shot, and of course, in terms of acting, you've got to have them doing some kind of thing, so otherwise they'd be motionless, just puppets or something.
He isn't. Oh.
Oh, I also want to see
crying out loud.
when they shift from one scene to another. There's usually what's called a button line, something that like a line of dialogue or something that happens that will kind of set up what's to follow. So let's see. I'm going to play it back. I'm going to see if they do it here. It's probably off
I
of.
thought that you said that you'd make sure she wasn't going.
Gherkin, my boy. He isn't.
Oh.
Yeah. So the one guy said, "I thought you said she wasn't going," something like that, and then he said, "She isn't." So, and then that ends that scene. But notice it's seemingly setting up some kind of plot. He's going to do something to prevent her from showing up, if I heard that correctly. The sound is really not quite terrible, but just ugh. Okay.
For crying out loud, sir. I never struck Bodgers. I never struck anybody.
Your problem is there were no witnesses. And your other problem is that Bodger's father is a congressman.
Would have simply informed the dignified congressman that for the 5th consecutive inspection, his son's fly was open.
God's sakes, man.
Again, we're setting up. I assume he's going to be another major character, primary character in the series. So they're setting up this relationship.
I can't say that to a congressman.
I just believe
Based
in
on
discipline is
conflict.
all.
As do I. Occasionally.
That's like a dog who's occasionally housebroken. This won't be worth a dipstick if we occasionally do what we say we're going to do. Sir, look at our country. We got a problem. And I don't mean kids chewing gum when they're not supposed to. I'm talking about kids on drugs, kids doing arson, robbery, assault.
Also, that's important. You don't want to make some characters just bad guys for the sake of being bad guys. He has a point of view, and it could be justified. The guy on the right is pointing out the importance of him being there and doing what he's doing. And that will conflict with the other, mostly the cadets, the children. But he's sticking up and pointing out the importance of what his job is.
In here, I got a chance to make these kids strong. I got a chance to build character. I'm not going to let you interfere with the chance I got.
Now you listen to me.
So there's an overarching, the series in itself, in general, over the course of the series, there's a conflict. And that's when you have this expression called jump the shark, where you have essentially a mission for a show. You have something to overcome. You have some kind of inherent conflict. Here, he's trying to basically turn these misbehaving kids into good, proud cadets, honorable, respectful, something like Boy Scouts. I mean, just, you become Eagle Scout, you learn proper discipline and so forth through the course of different episodes. And of course, you have an inherent conflict with the kids who push away from that. Their instincts are different. They want to be just kids and so forth. They'll act like kids. So there's an inherent conflict in there. Then you've got other conflicts. In other shows like Barney Miller, the conflict is pretty obvious. You've got two different people arrested usually, or you've got someone arrested, and you have to deal with the crime that the person committed. Over the course of the show, that's the inherent conflict.
Relatively happy kids make relatively happy parents. End of thought. Now, quite simply, Matt, either you obey those rules or quite simply, Matt, you're out of here.
You can't fire me without cause.
Oh, trust me, Matt. I'll find cause. Believe me, I'll find cause.
Again, setting up
Thank
probably
you.
their relationship through the series. I'll find cause to get rid of it.
So, what are you going to wear to the concert?
It doesn't make any difference. Whatever I wear, I always think I'm not going to look good.
See, that's the basic difference between you and me. I'll never say die in here. I'm dead. Don't be like that. Think popcorn.
Popcorn?
Popcorn popping. That's you.
I was about to say, notice, of course, it's pretty obvious because she's going to go out somewhere. But notice she looks very different. She's in casual clothing, and the character on the left is still in military uniform. And I was waiting for more of a backup information about something about her character, like a line of dialogue, that the character on the left is more military oriented and the character on the right is more carefree and something like a fish out of water, or somebody that doesn't really belong in the cadet school. So this visually sets up that conflict.
Boy, you sure know a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff.
Hey, kid. My parents were in show business. I grew up on the road.
My life was essentially this, with parents.
Yep, right there. I told you,
I
right
guess
there.
it wouldn't be such a bad place if it weren't for Sergeant Garbage. I mean, the man has never smiled. That's a dangerous man.
They're setting up the difference
So you know
between
what
the
I heard?
characters.
Seriously.
Her background,
I heard
their backgrounds
he's a
are different.
psychopathic maniac. Like, during the war, he couldn't get enough of killing, so he fought on both sides.
No.
You know Bodgers, the plebe, the little kid, our bugler?
Yeah.
Well, the second day here, he did something wrong, and I heard Gideon smacked him right in the face. And Bodgers told his father, and his father's a congressman, and you should have seen the letter he wrote your uncle. And that's why I think Gideon is going to get fired.
Gideon's gonna get fired.
Yeah, Gideon was the
No, I
Richard
really think
Roundtree's
so.
character.
I mean, he's not allowed to hit you. It's against the law or something. I mean, the way he treats you, well, why don't you just go to your uncle?
Because I live by 3 words.
What 3 words?
Tough is gorgeous.
You want I like the way they did that. Tough is gorgeous. You want to simplify the theme that you're trying to express in as few words as possible. You want to make some of these lines of dialogue memorable to stick in the viewer's mind. It's also setting up, I think she's supposed to be the primary character, at least in this episode, but it's explaining more about her uncle and establishing more conflict.
Who is it? Squallier Brigham's here.
Uh-oh, the fuzz. Gonna get caught.
Yep, she's not supposed to be going out.
Come in.
Is that regulation?
It is with me.
How attractive.
Exceedingly.
Good evening, Cadet Lemposki. You look very self-composed.
Thank you.
These are tomorrow's detail assignments.
Yup, right here. Right.
Cadet Lemposki. Lucy.
It seems sort of like a handoff. The guy in charge, the kid in charge there, who has the dialogue, is taking temporarily, I guess, in this scene, taking the role of Gideon. Same kind of functionary role.
At 1300 hours, you have garbage detail.
Thank you.
In other words, he's expressing this this need for discipline and following the rules, which is the same as what Gideon was getting at.
Life is looking up.
So the conflict remains the same. The characters may be,
Cadet McKay. Well, it seems I have nothing
slightly
down here
different
for
in this.
Cadet McKay.
Nope, absolutely nothing there.
So I guess I'll have to think of something.
I'm sure you will.
Not to worry.
If it's all the same to you, I think I will worry.
Good evening, ladies.
Good evening. Thanks again.
Lucy, there are 200 boys here, and you have to fall for G.I. Jerk.
Is he sleaze?
Is he? He's sleaze. He's sleaze. I'm speaking to you.
He's sleaze. Do you think so?
My God, I'm brilliant.
Exceedingly. Why?
Tomorrow retreat. Cadet Libinati to hold. Cadet McKay to fold.
Yep. So plotting their downfall. It's interesting that they go back to folding the flag. It should be a recurring theme. If you want to express a theme of an episode, that by theme I mean get your point across. Sometimes you have to do it several times to get the audience to catch on. And notice that it's a recurring theme.
I know it's not perfect, sir.
Company dismissed. McCann, even out here, Ted Hut.
Okay. Yep, I thought so. Because there's more to do with her character.
Wiggling, waddling, warthogs. Begins you.
We are wiggling, waddling warthogs, sir.
Illuminati.
Yes, sir.
10 hours of study hall.
Yes, sir.
Yes, miss.
I'm guessing Gideon he's going to run off. Gideon will talk to her because it feels like there's more to the scene. It feels like they just introduced her ineptitude with folding the flag, and that would relate to respect and being able to show, respect for the flag and duty and honor and so forth. So it feels like there's more conflict yet to be expressed between Soleil Moon Frye's character and Gideon. Let's see.
McKay.
Yep, I thought so. So he runs off.
You look like you have something to say to me.
I do, sir. Brigham never told me I was going to fold the flag.
Oh, I also want to express something in terms of Dramatica theory. I'll talk about Dramatica theory later, but there's one aspect of it. There's a main character. Sometimes it's tricky to figure out who the main character is in a sitcom, like an ensemble sitcom like this, but it seems like we're focusing more attention on Soleil Moon Frye's character, and we're learning, even though we did learn a bit about Gideon's character, the things that we learned about Gideon were related to his job, and that's not the main character. That's more like a protagonist or antagonist. So, sorry, my shoulder's kind of awkward, but Soleil Moon Frye, what did we learn from her character? We learned more personal things. We learned more personal aspects of her background. So that's one indicator that she's the main character, at least in this episode. I imagine other characters it would focus on, like, for example, Jaleel White's character, and other episodes, maybe they'll bring in other characters too. But okay, going back to Dramatica theory, the main character has a certain point of view, a certain attitude, certain way of going about things. And there must be, in a fully told story, there must be another character called, it goes by several names in Dramatica, but it's like an obstacle character. that's not necessarily the antagonist. That's why in movies many times you have like a leading lady or a leading man taking over kind of a personal side plot. It's not just so you can throw in like a romance or whatever. Like for example, hypothetically, you could have an action movie, and then like Arnold Schwarzenegger also has like a kid with him that keeps arguing with him. That's typically the role of the influence character or the obstacle character. In say in a movie, a big action movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, you have a leading lady that's has some kind of romantic relationship with Arnold Schwarzenegger's character. It's not only to, if written well, typically, it's not just to have a girl in the movie or some girl, titillation or whatever. It's to push against the main character, who would be Arnold Schwarzenegger. In this case, it would be Soleil Moon Frye's character. Push against their attitude. So that doesn't necessarily mean that the main character will change. You have some dynamics going here. You could have the main character remain steadfast and say, no, my attitude is correct, and this will be how I can live my life better or continue living my life well. I have my own attitude. She has this carefree attitude. And so running against that carefree attitude, you have Gideon, who seems to be acting as the influence character here. He's going to argue that you can't be so carefree, and however you phrase it. And that's enough to jostle her to rethink, gee, must I adapt or adopt? Must I adopt Gideon's point of view? It could work many different ways. She could continue, and we'll see how it turns out in the end. She could decide to continue being carefree, and Gideon realizes he must stop or change his attitude, or she could decide to change and adopt more of what Gideon wants her to change into. So those are two different ways it could go. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it would end in a good story. I don't mean a successful story in the objective sense of the plot of them becoming better cadets. I mean, for her personally, she could decide to change and adopt Gideon's attitude, and then it goes badly for her, where we figure out that she should not have changed. She should have stayed carefree, or she could change and adopt Gideon's attitude, and then she seems to be healthier in some sense emotionally or personally in her life. I'm guessing since she is we'll see how it turns out.
Okay. It's going to be tough until I can teach you to respect what you do here. I teach respect, you will learn respect. 20 additional hours in study hall.
But then I'll miss the concert.
Oh, you breaking my heart. Dismissed.
We've got two values at stake. We've got her, she wants to be carefree and go to the concert. He wants to drill in discipline. Each have, viable arguments in their favor.
You look great.
Thanks for the stuff and the hair.
Oh, that's interesting. Notice, yeah, she's already having an influence on this other character. I didn't realize it would change so quickly, evolve so quickly like that. So you see this aspect of changing. It's already happening here.
At ease. Dinner vouchers for Squad 8. The bus and I leave at 1400 hours.
All right.
All right. Are you hearing impaired?
No. I'm not going, Gideon.
Ah, say no more.
There's nothing more to say. Hi,
I'm Press Langley.
that's a different name.
What's yours?
Tyler.
How am I supposed to remember that?
John Tyler was our 10th president.
How am I supposed to remember that?
How am I supposed to remember Press?
Press together your hand with mine. From that touch, two souls entwine.
Hey, I guess that
Hey,
helps
don't feel
solve
bad.
helps
I'll bring
to
you back a
resolve
t-shirt.
my issue
Tyler.
with YouTube. Being
I
copyright
dreamt
struck.
that right.
He's really something, isn't he? I mean, isn't he something? I mean, he is something, isn't he?
I wonder if this is. It's too late in the episode
Lucy,
What?
for this. Oh, about the
sometimes
concert.
in your life you know exactly what to do.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just hits you and there's absolutely no question about it. This happens to be one of those times in my life.
Yeah, so this is going to be an inducement. But I was wondering what role this new character coming in would have on the episode itself. His role coming in is to further enhance that conflict, exacerbate that conflict, where now she was bounced down, she was pushed down by Gideon. Now she has a new incentive, a rejuvenated incentive to try and get to the concert.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to that concert.
Are we getting that citizenship trophy back from the barracks?
It's being brought over, sir.
Good.
I would love those, action figures like that. I don't know what he has, but man. Oh, it's also showing, I guess, that he not really a tender spot, but a more playful spot to his character. That might be shown in later episodes if they ever made, in another universe, maybe they made other episodes.
Yo, what?
Cadet McKay is here to see you, sir.
Who the hell is Cadet Mc... Oh, you send her in.
So he has to. There's a little bit of conflict even in that. So he wants to show a facade of, I imagine he'll do in here, a facade of being professional and so forth. And we just saw him playing like he was a kid, which also, come to think of it, again, expresses that conflict between being grown up and being professional and so forth, with just being a kid and playing around. That's the inherent conflict in the show. So that was an interesting bit there.
Cadet McKay, sir.
Well, for gosh sakes, Tyler, there's no need to stand on ceremony, is there? Well, let's have a look at you. What a fine-looking young cadet you are.
Thank you, Uncle Tom.
How about just Tom? Uncle Tom has all those ramifications.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, yeah, so they're establishing, so he's the uncle, he's her uncle that we've been hearing about. So that, yeah, you've got to, well, you don't have to, but it's nice they introduced the uncle, who I imagine would be a recurring character since the uncle is such a part of her being in the school. It's nice that they introduced her at the beginning, in this first episode, this pilot.
Okay, Tom, you're looking very well.
And what a fine-looking young cadet you are. So, how's everything going? Let's find out. How's everything going?
Establishing his klutzy nature, I imagine.
Well,
Here at Appomattox, you're getting the kind of schooling that you never experienced with show
that's
business.
interesting. He's caught an interesting conflict. Remember, I was telling you before about that conflict inherent in the show between being an adult and being a child. So we just saw that. So he has this tie to her being a child, and it's kind of a family connection with her being a child, and yet he has to deal with her being a cadet. So right there, there's that conflict between being I didn't catch what function he had in the school, what rank or what position he had in the school, but um it caught between like being like that and being her uncle.
As parents, aren't you?
Well, it is.
You know, I'm glad we can provide you with some form and substance for your life. Discipline, Tyler. That's what Appomattox is all about. Discipline.
Yeah, it's really helping me out a lot. But I'm actually here to talk to you about the concert. See, Sergeant Gideon, my company commander, well, it's a real problem.
A problem with Sergeant Gideon. Sit down, Tyler. Tell me everything that happened.
Tyler, I should say Tyler. Characters.
Well, Tyler, this is one of those very rare occurrences when I'm in total agreement with a cadet.
That's great.
Fortunately,
That's interesting. He's still playing around, kind of, I mean, within reason, but he's still playing around or fidgeting with his pencil like a kid might, poking eyes in the statue in the bust there.
can't just overrule your company commander. It's not as simple as that. On the other hand, if there was something else that Sergeant Gideon had done...
I'll tell you something. He never smiles. Did you know that?
Okay.
Wait a minute.
All right.
Did you?
I've got to say something. We do acknowledge that it's comedy, and it's half an hour, which implies it's a comedy. And we have a laugh track, but wow. They don't need to have the laugh track. It's more, you know what? It's more a matter of the recording of the laugh track. They could have varied the laugh track sound, the sound recording. Make it, make sometimes the laughter be loud, sometimes soft. It gets on me.
Did you happen to hear something about the Bodgers, kid?
Yeah, Gideon smacked him.
You saw it.
No, darn it.
But you know he did.
Nothing Gideon did would surprise me. He murdered every kid here.
Here we go. So they're talking about Gideon, and Tyler said something like, nothing Gideon does could surprise me. And we're, so we can tell this is 18 minutes. So it's already in the final third, I'd say, or final quarter, depending on how exactly you divide up the episode. So this is the climax of the story. This is where, remember at the beginning, they introduced the characters, they introduced the basic conflict of the episode with the theme of discipline and the folding up the flag and so forth. Well, Gideon seems to be also the antagonist. If you could pick somebody to be some character to be the antagonist, it would be Gideon. Remember, the antagonist should also have a point of view to argue and be able to justify. So does she. So does Tyler. So this seems to be the final climax, the final confrontation between the antagonist. I'm guessing that we haven't seen the last of Gideon, that he will make some kind of confrontation with Tyler. But this seems more like a pep talk. This seems to be like that pep talk. And then I'm guessing that right after this will be the true climactic scene between Tyler and Gideon. Be very surprised if it's not, because you have to have Tyler questioning or being questioned, under pressure from her uncle, Tom, whether to change or remain the way she is. And right now, it seems like she has been seeing Gideon as a source of her conflict, whereas maybe if she thinks about it under pressure, like from Tom, maybe she could like start questioning or being more introspective, and perhaps she decides she should change a little bit.
I'd be surprised.
I tell you what I'm going to do, Tyler. I'm going to go out on a limb for you to get you to this concert. In return for which, I want you to say that you saw Sergeant Gideon strike Bodgers.
Why?
Well, let's just say that an uncle who cares very much for his little niece is asking her to.
Right.
Hey, won't be another chance to go to this concert. Oh, your bus is leaving, Tyler.
I know. It's just that.
Come on, it's no big deal. I really want you to say you saw it. We're talking about a couple of words here, some idle chit-chat.
You can chit and chat until you're blue, but you earn respect from what you do.
Oh, I love that moment. She's reciting something that was drilled in. Remember at the beginning of the episode, it was that same line. Now it's coming back. It's Robert, what's his name? There was an author, Robert, he wrote a book called Story, and I'm blanking on his name right now, Robert something. He called it la ronde, which is a French word which means round. So you introduce something at the beginning of the episode, perhaps under a different context, and then there's this magical moment where in the final bit, like this moment here before the confrontation, or this is kind of also serving as the final climax, she's demonstrating, it comes around again. So it's restated, but this time with more, showing that she's learned a little bit.
Go to this concert.
There we go.
I know. It's just that.
Come on, it's no big deal. I really want you to say you saw it. We're talking about a couple of words here, some idle chit-chat.
You can chit and chat until you're blue, but you earn respect from what you do.
There's
Excuse me, sir.
There's the author's argument.
Your citizenship trophy?
I'll just be going back to study hall, Uncle. Sir! Sir!
Okay, before they go into this next bit, all right, notice it got quiet. That's a demonstration of, well, like competent editing. Notice there was no laugh track. There were no jokes. It paused a little bit before that, so the audience could recognize that this is a serious moment when she stood up. In fact, I think she stands up to recite the line, which places more emphasis on the line. And then they even after she says the line, there was a brief pause in terms of dialogue to let the significance, the poignancy of that moment sink in. And then, of course, Gideon walks in. There's a bit of a comedic laugh. It lightens up for a bit. The mood lightens up a bit. But it was serious long enough for her to deliver that line, to show.
Caught in the act, was I?
Oh, I wouldn't take this so lightly, Tom.
Oh?
I don't believe you understand the gravity of the situation. You just disgraced every commander of every military academy in this country. You tried to coerce a cadet into lying. That's dishonorable, disgraceful, and it stinks. But Tom, I know you won't ever be dishonorable again.
Again, conflict.
No, I don't think I will.
Ongoing conflict for the series.
You're going to be a commander of fine character. Because if not, you'll have to answer to me.
I'm guessing this is one of the points of hiring, casting Richard Roundtree, who played Shaft, in that role. I'm guessing Shaft had something to do with him being cast in the part. So typically, all right, so that's a little bit there. The episode is continuing because typically we have a tag what is a tag? A tag is a scene after the climax, after the change, so-called change has occurred. The tag demonstrates like it will be different from this point on. We'll have to see. I haven't seen it myself, but a tag basically sums up the theme of the episode, the points of view, so forth, and expresses, well, some point of view on some philosophical point about the episode. Why did we spend 24 minutes watching this?
Press together your hand with mine. From that touch, two souls and
McKay! What is that supposed to be?
Nothing, sir.
How many more hours you got in here, McKay?
11.
What's in the drawer, McKay?
Books.
What else? On the table?
Checkers, dominoes, cards.
Bring those cards here, McKay. McKay!
Yes, sir.
You know how to play poker?
5 card drawer, 7 card stud. Yes, sir.
Bring another chair here, McKay.
Oh, I think I know what's going to happen.
You know how to shuffle? I'm speaking to you.
Oh,
I know how to shuffle, sir.
oh, that's interesting. I think there's a little bit of change in Gideon too. I think he's expressing that he has either changed or he is expressing there is a time. I think it's more like he's expressing, I think it's a little bit of both, but I think he's also expressing there is a time when it's okay to fool around or be kids or play with, play poker or something like that. Unless he makes some really outstandingly philosophical point about poker, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's more like he can sort of be a kid too when the time is appropriate.
Sounds like garbage detail. Garbage detail in the study hall on the double.
Sir.
We are trying to concentrate in here. And get that done efficiently and silently.
Yes, sir.
Dismissed. Shuffle.
7 card high, low, low spade in the hole, splits the pot with a high hand.
So also notice these two of them looking at each other and they're smiling. So, and very important. Oh, nice shot to freeze on her pretty face. But notice at the end of the episode, remember what I was talking about earlier about the main character being able to decide whether to change, to adapt to the influence character's point of view, or to remain steadfast. There's a difference between a changed main character and a changed main character and a steadfast main character. She did change. Of course, it's 24 minutes. Well, essentially 20 minutes. So you don't have that much time to devote to a whole character arc. Probably over the time the show would have shown that. But she, just by standing up and saying, time for chit chat, but discipline. I don't remember how it actually goes, but that she changed her point of view. She recited what the leader had, what Gideon had told her at the beginning of the episode. So she's changed. We can see she's smiling and she's playing poker with him, and he's playing poker with her, obviously. But she is in a happy place. She's not mentally in a bad place. Just for a little bit, I love to mention this as a good example. For those of you who've seen the Rambo movie called the first one called First Blood, that's a case where you have Rambo, who's clearly the main character, and he just wants a sandwich at the beginning. He just wants a meal at the beginning, and he's driven and driven and driven. Now, the objective story involves the sheriff as the protagonist. See, the protagonist must pursue the goal, and the antagonist avoids or prevents the goal from being achieved. What makes First Blood so unique is that the sheriff is the one pursuing Rambo, not Rambo, the personal character that we sympathize with, but the fugitive. Rambo is the fugitive. The sheriff is the protagonist pursuing the fugitive. So Rambo is the antagonist. However, Rambo is the main character because we see him in more vulnerable, personal moments throughout the movie, and we sympathize with him. And of course, the sheriff is is characterized and dramatized, portrayed as somebody we just don't like, which makes it easy. But for those of you who've seen this movie, it's a great movie. Near the end, well, really at the climax, I don't know. During the climax, I won't spoil it, but Rambo is cornered and he gives a great soliloquy. And oh my gosh, that's a brilliant soliloquy. He's crying, he's in tears, he's broken down mentally. And not just from this chase. I mean, just all the nightmares in his life and so forth. He says he's been living this nightmare for the past 7 years. And so he's arrested. So in Dramatica speak, the sheriff arrests him. He's in the final credits moment. He is being carted off. I think he's in handcuffs, but he's being carted off. So objectively speaking, the goal of the story has been achieved. It's a success. The sheriff has captured the fugitive. However, Rambo is still, in the scene just before that, just prior, he had been crying. He had been, in the original novel, how do I put this? He's unalived. And I haven't actually read the novel. I think that I read that when they filmed it, it's more of a self-action of becoming unalived, which is more in line with the novel, the original novel, First Blood. But they decided to change that. I guess perhaps because there could be one of two reasons. One, there would be there would be an option for more sequels, which there was, and two, it's not so much of a downer. So it is 1982. So in that sense, the objective story was accomplished. It's a success, but he is still in a bad place, as opposed to a good place. So going back to this, she's in a good place. You can tell she's smiling. For any idiot out there that doesn't catch on, she is in a good place. Just look at that face. And I guess you'd have to figure out what, I guess the objective story, you'd have to figure out what the objective story was, but I guess it's a success. You'd have to think it through. Sometimes these sitcoms are so focused on the personal characters that it can be difficult to try and piece together what the objective story is. About the concert, and it would be about what everybody is focused on, the concert and discipline and training and so forth.
And Charles Gibson.
Tomorrow, Patrick Swayze.
Oh, Charles Gibson.
Latest project.
I remember
Plus
that
a
voice,
visit with
Charles
Sherry
Gibson.
Belafonte Harper.
Remy Auberjonois. Wow. I know there was a Renee
Now stay tuned as
Auberjonois.
ABC News brings you
later on
live
as an
coverage
actor.
of the
That's
presidential debate. Next.
Oh, so this actually aired. That's another thing. This actually aired. It's an Unsold pilot, 1988. I wonder what day of the week this aired and so forth. All right, who cares? Well, all right, I'm gonna see this through. I don't think there's really anything. Yeah, but I'm gonna pause that. Blah 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 blah. All right, so I'm gonna look this up right now. All right, hold on. When did Cadets air in 1988? That could have something to do with the September 25th, 1988. The pilot, however, was not picked up. ABC is a summer special. I wouldn't call September 25th a summer special, but anyway, okay. Regardless of that, the timing when it aired, this would have gone to an audience. So this actually aired. So this would have been shown to a TV audience, around the country, and they would no doubt have checked to see what the ratings were if anybody was watching. Um, and it could be, there could be good pilots that just effective, well produced pilots that nobody was interested or in, or nobody watched. They could put it in a time slot when, maybe against the A team, or maybe against, like, I don't know what big, against Star Trek or something, when everybody was, or Garfield special or something, when nobody was watching any other thing, especially at this time when, granted, you did have cable, but ABC, CBS, and NBC, this was just barely after Fox premiered as a network. So you really just had those principal networks, and cable and streaming didn't exist at all at that point. So it just depends on, 13 years old. The character was 13 years old. So anyway, from that, there we go. It could depend on just nobody happening to watch TV right then. So I hope you've learned something from that. Tell me in the comments if you'd like to see more of this. I'd like to get into shows that the pilots that astonishingly didn't get picked up. They're considered failures despite having such good talent behind them. So hope you're having a good week, and I'll talk with you next time. Bye.